What if Anakin Skywalker made a different choice in Palpatine's office? In that pivotal moment, when Mace Windu stood over the Sith Lord with his lightsaber raised, Anakin faced the most important decision of his life. In our timeline, he chose fear. He chose to save Palpatine, believing the Sith Lord could save Padme. And in doing so, he damned the galaxy to darkness. But what if, in that critical second, Anakin chose differently? What if he saw through Palpatine's manipulation? What if he struck down the Sith Lord and saved Mace Windu instead? This is the story of how one choice changed everything. How Anakin Skywalker fulfilled the prophecy not through sacrifice, but through action. How the Chosen One brought balance to the Force by destroying the Sith when it mattered most. This is the story of the galaxy that could have been. The moment of truth, lightning crackles through Chancellor Palpatine's office. Mace Windu stands over the twisted form of Darth Sidious, his amethyst blade humming with deadly intent. Palpatine's face is deformed, scarred by his own reflected Force lightning, yellow eyes burning with malevolence. "You are under arrest, my lord," Mace says, voice steady despite the exhaustion from their duel. "Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?" Palpatine's voice drips with venom. "The Senate will decide your fate." "I am the Senate." More lightning erupts from Palpatine's fingertips. Mace deflects it with his lightsaber, the violet blade acting as a conduit. The Sith Lord writhes and screams as his own power rebounds on him, his face becoming more grotesque with each passing second. Then Anakin Skywalker bursts through the door. He stops, frozen by the scene before him. His friend and mentor, revealed as the Dark Lord of the Sith, the Jedi Master who never trusted him, standing in judgment. And between them, the promise of saving Padme hanging in the balance. "Anakin, I told you it would come to this." Mace doesn't take his eyes off Palpatine. "I was right. The Sith are taking over. You don't know the dark side as I do." Palpatine pleads, his voice weak, desperate. "The Jedi are trying to take over the Republic. Anakin, I have the power to save Padme. You must choose." Anakin's hand goes to his lightsaber. His mind races. Everything Palpatine said about the dark side, about power over life and death, the promise to save Padme, but also the lies. Years of lies. The manipulation, the Clone Wars orchestrated from both sides. "Don't listen to him, Anakin," Mace commands. Palpatine's yellow eyes lock onto Anakin's. "Don't let him kill me. I'm too weak. Please." Anakin's hand trembles on his lightsaber hilt. In his mind, he sees Padme dying in childbirth, his mother dying in his arms, everyone he's failed to save. Palpatine promises he can prevent that, promises power. But then another memory surfaces, Obi-Wan's lessons. Your focus determines your reality. The Jedi Code. Ashoka's face when she left the Order because of the Council's failures. And deeper still, his mother's words. The biggest problem in the universe is that nobody helps each other. Palpatine orchestrated the war. Millions died because of his schemes. The clones, bred for combat. The Jedi, stretched thin across the galaxy. The Republic, corrupted from within. And Padme, Palpatine's promise to save her, built on the dark side, built on more death, more suffering, more corruption. Anakin's hand steadies. He's too dangerous to be left alive. Mace raises his lightsaber for the killing blow. "No!" Palpatine shrieks, unleashing another torrent of lightning, and Anakin makes his choice. His blue lightsaber ignites, but instead of striking Mace Windu, he drives it through Palpatine's chest from the side. Time freezes. Palpatine's eyes widen in shock. The lightning dies on his fingertips. He turns his head slowly to look at Anakin, betrayal and fury etched across his ruined features. "You were supposed to join me? I was supposed to destroy the Sith," Anakin says, his voice cold and certain. "And you're the last one." He twists the blade. Palpatine's body convulses once, then goes still. The most powerful Sith Lord in a millennium dies in his own office, killed by the apprentice he tried to corrupt. Anakin deactivates his lightsaber and steps back. His hands are shaking now. The weight of what he's done crashes over him. He just killed the Supreme Chancellor, his friend, his mentor, his tempter. Mace Windu stares at him for a long moment. The Jedi Master's expression is unreadable, cycling through shock, suspicion, and finally, something that might be respect. "You made the right choice, Skywalker." Anakin doesn't feel like he made the right choice. He feels empty, lost, but also lighter. as if a weight he'd been carrying for years has finally lifted. He told me he could save Padme, Anakin says quietly. She's going to die in childbirth. I've been having visions. The future is always in motion. Mace interrupts, but his tone is gentler than before. Visions are not absolute, and the dark side could never truly save anyone, only destroy. Then how do I save her? By being there for her, by trusting in the Force, and by not letting fear control you. Mace deactivates his lightsaber. You just proved you can do that. You overcame the greatest temptation the Sith could offer. Anakin looks down at Palpatine's corpse. The nightmare that manipulated the entire galaxy, reduced to a twisted body on the floor. What happens now? Mace pulls out his comlink. Now we save the Republic. Mace Windu's transmission reaches the Jedi Temple within minutes. Execute Order 66 inches dies in Palpatine's throat, never spoken. The control chips in the clone troopers' brains remain dormant. Across the galaxy, Jedi Masters receive a different message. Palpatine was Sidious. The Sith are defeated. Hold your positions. Protect your troops. Master Yoda, meditating in the temple, opens his eyes. Through the Force, he felt Palpatine's death. The massive disturbance in the dark side, like a cancerous growth suddenly excised from the galaxy. The prophecy, he whispers. Fulfilled it has been, but there's no time for contemplation. The death of the Supreme Chancellor, even a Sith Lord, creates a power vacuum. The Senate will be in chaos. The Separatists still fight, and there are other Sith agents scattered across the galaxy who won't surrender quietly. Yoda rises and makes his way to the council chamber. The surviving council members are already assembling via hologram. Obi-Wan from Utapau, Ki-Adi-Mundi from Megiddo, Plo Koon from Cato Neimoidia. Even Ahsoka Tano, no longer officially a Jedi but called back in this crisis. Grave news we have received, Yoda begins. But also hopeful. Destroyed the Sith Lord Anakin Skywalker has. Saved Master Windu. Fulfilled his destiny as the Chosen One. The council members react with shock. Obi-Wan looks particularly stunned and proud. Anakin killed Palpatine? Obi-Wan asks for confirmation. He did, Mace Windu confirms, appearing in the chamber physically. Anakin stands beside him, looking uncomfortable under the council's scrutiny. When given the choice between darkness and light, he chose light. He saved my life and ended the Sith. Then the war is over? Ki-Adi-Mundi asks hopefully. The Sith threat is ended, Yoda corrects. But the Clone Wars continue. The Separatist Council still lives. Their droid armies still fight. And without Palpatine to control them, they may become more desperate and dangerous. There's something else, Anakin speaks up, his voice uncertain. Palpatine told me things before I killed him. He orchestrated the war from both sides. He was controlling Count Dooku. The Separatists are just puppets. Then we cut the strings, Mace says firmly. We find the Separatist Council and end this war properly. But what of the Senate? Obi-Wan asks. They've lost their chancellor. There will be political chaos. Let them choose a new leader, Yoda decides. But this time, guide them we will. Secretly manipulate them, we will not. But advise them, counsel them. This the Jedi can do. It's a fundamental shift in Jedi philosophy. Not withdrawing from politics entirely, but also not being pawns in political games. A middle path. Master Yoda, Ahsoka speaks for the first time, her voice cautious. What about the clones? Palpatine created them. What if they have contingencies? It's a prescient question. Anakin's eyes widen. The chips. Palpatine mentioned something about control chips in the clones' brains. I didn't understand at the time, but we investigate immediately, Mace orders. If there are safeguards built into the clone army, we need to know about them. Anakin returns to Padme's apartment as the sun sets over Coruscant. She's waiting for him, worry etched across her beautiful features. She knows something terrible happened today. She can always sense his turmoil. Anakin, she rises to meet him. What's happened? The Senate is in chaos. They're saying the Chancellor is dead, but no one will confirm. Palpatine was Darth Sidious, Anakin says bluntly. The Sith Lord we've been searching for all this time. He orchestrated the Clone Wars. He manipulated everyone, and I killed him. Padme's hand goes to her mouth. She staggers, and Anakin catches her. guiding her to a seat. You killed the Chancellor? I killed the Sith Lord who was destroying the Republic. Anakin kneels before her, taking her hands. Padme, he tried to turn me to the dark side. He promised he could save you from dying in childbirth. He knew about my visions. He used them against me. Tears fill Padme's eyes. I'm not going to die, Anakin. He said you would. He said only the dark side could save you. And I almost believed him. Anakin's voice breaks. I was so afraid of losing you that I almost became the very thing we've been fighting against. Padme touches his face gently. But you didn't. You made the right choice. Did I? Anakin looks haunted. He was my friend, Padme. For years, he was like a father to me. He listened when the council wouldn't. He believed in me. And it was all manipulation. All lies. Then he never was your friend, Padme says firmly. Friends don't manipulate. They don't lie. They don't try to corrupt you into becoming something monstrous. Anakin, you saw through his deception. You stayed true to who you are. That's what matters. Anakin pulls her into an embrace, holding her tight. I can't lose you. That's the only thing I know for certain. You won't, she whispers. We'll face whatever comes together. No more secrets. No more fear. It's a promise they both intend to keep. Jedi Master Shaak Ti has been stationed on Kamino throughout the war, overseeing clone training. When she receives Mace Windu's order to investigate potential clone control mechanisms, she acts immediately. She brings in the clone's medic, a trooper designated CT 6116, but known as Kix. He's one of the few clones who's shown interest in medical anomalies within his brothers. Kix, Shaak Ti addresses him formally. I need you to scan for any cybernetic implants in the clone's brains. Anything that shouldn't be there. Ma'am, Kix looks confused but compliant. Is there a specific medical concern? A potential security concern? Please conduct a full neural scan on yourself and several other troopers. Hours later, Kix returns with results that make Shaak Ti's blood run cold. Every clone has an identical implant lodged in their brain tissue. A biochip designed to override behavioral inhibitions when given specific commands. What kind of commands? Shaak Ti asks, dreading the answer. Kix brings up the data. The chip responds to numbered contingency orders. There are at least 150 different commands programmed. Most are standard military protocols. But some, he highlights one entry, Order 66. It compels clones to execute all Jedi as traitors to the Republic. Shaak Ti's hands clench. If Palpatine had succeeded, if Anakin hadn't stopped him, every Jedi in the galaxy would have been murdered by their own troops. Can the chips be removed? She asks urgently. Possibly, but it's delicate surgery. The chip is embedded deep. One wrong move could kill the patient or leave them brain damaged. Shaak Ti pulls out her comlink. Master Windu, we have a problem. With Palpatine dead and his machinations exposed, the Senate must choose a new Supreme Chancellor. But the institution has been corrupted for years. Many senators owe their positions to Palpatine's patronage. Others are secretly separatist sympathizers or simply opportunists. Bail Organa of Alderaan emerges as the leading candidate for those who want genuine reform. Mon Mothma of Chandrila supports him vocally. But others push for candidates who would maintain the status quo, or worse, expand executive power further. Padme Amidala, despite her pregnancy, throws herself into the political fight. She delivers an impassioned speech to the Senate, her voice ringing through the chamber. We stand at a crossroads, she proclaims. For years, we've surrendered our liberties for security. We've allowed one man to accumulate power beyond any Supreme Chancellor in history. And we've discovered that man was orchestrating the very war he claimed to fight against. Murmurs ripple through the Senate, some angry, some ashamed. We cannot make the same mistake again, Padme continues. We must choose a leader who respects the Senate's authority, who believes in democracy, not dictatorship, who will work with the Jedi to end this war, not prolong it for personal gain. And who do you suggest, Senator Amidala? An opponent calls out. Your friend from Alderaan? More Jedi sympathizers? I suggest we remember what the Republic stands for, Padme replies coolly. Liberty, justice, representation. If those are Jedi sympathies, then I'm proud to share them. The vote takes 3 days of intense debate, but finally, Bail Organa is elected Supreme Chancellor by a narrow margin. It's not a landslide victory, but it's a victory nonetheless. When Bail takes the podium to give his acceptance speech, Padme and Mon Mothma watch from the wings, exhausted but hopeful. "We did it," Mon Mothma says quietly. "We took the first step," Padme corrects. Now comes the hard part, actually fixing everything Palpatine broke. Utap-IU, the hunt for Grievous General Grievous, the cyborg commander of the separatist droid armies, fled Utap-IU when news of Palpatine's death spread. Without his master's guidance, Grievous has become more erratic, more dangerous. Obi-Wan Kenobi leads the hunt. His clone battalion, the 212th under Commander Cody, pursues Grievous across the planet's sinkhole cities. But something is different now. Obi-Wan can sense it in the clones' behavior. They're more cautious around him, more uncertain. The news about the control chips has spread through the ranks, and many clones are volunteering for the removal surgery. Commander Cody approaches Obi-Wan as they prepare for the final assault on Grievous's position. "General," Cody's voice is strained. "I need to tell you something. About the chips." Obi-Wan turns to face him fully. "What about them?" I didn't know. None of us knew. But we were programmed to kill you. All of you." If the order had been given, Cody struggles with the words. "Sir, we fought beside you for years. You saved my life more times than I can count. And I would have shot you in the back without hesitation." The horror in Cody's voice is genuine. Obi-Wan places a hand on the clone's shoulder. "But you didn't, Commander. The order was never given. And now that we know about the chips, we can remove them. You're not responsible for what you might have done under mind control. Still, sir, the fact that we were designed to betray you," Cody shakes his head. "It doesn't sit right with me." "Then let it fuel your determination to end this war," Obi-Wan says firmly. "We stop Grievous. We dismantle the Separatist leadership. And we build a future where clones are seen as individuals, not weapons." Cody straightens. "Yes, sir. For the Republic." "For the Republic," Obi-Wan echoes. They storm Grievous's hideout in a coordinated assault. The cyborg general fights with his usual ferocity, 4 lightsabers spinning in a deadly dance. But without Palpatine's dark side enhancement, without the certainty of Sith backing, Grievous is just a bully used to fighting weaker opponents. Obi-Wan is not a weaker opponent. The duel is brutal but brief. Obi-Wan destroys 3 of Grievous's arms, backs him into a corner, and delivers the killing blow, a blaster shot to the general's exposed heart. As Grievous collapses, sparking and dying, Obi-Wan stands over him. "You were a tool," Obi-Wan says quietly, "a weapon wielded by a greater evil. I almost pity you." Grievous's mechanical eyes flicker out. The Supreme Commander of the Separatist Army is dead. Mustafar, the Separatist Council. The Separatist Council has retreated to Mustafar, a volcanic planet in the Outer Rim. Newt Gunray, Wat Tambor, Ponudo, and the other corporate leaders huddle in a heavily fortified facility, surrounded by droid armies. They're terrified. Palpatine, Darth Sidious, was their patron, their protector. His death leaves them exposed. The Republic will show them no mercy. The Jedi will hunt them down. "We should surrender," Ponudo suggests nervously. "Offer to deactivate the droid armies in exchange for amnesty? Surrender?" Newt Gunray's voice rises in pitch. "They'll execute us for treason. We need to bargain from a position of strength." "What strength?" Wat Tambor's vocabulator crackles. "Our master is dead. Our general is dead. Our armies are scattered. We have no position." The argument is interrupted by alarms blaring. Battle droids rush to defensive positions. Through the windows, the council members see Republic gunships descending through the ash-filled sky. Leading the assault is Anakin Skywalker. After killing Palpatine, Anakin requested this mission personally. He needs to end this war completely, to close the chapter on the conflict that defined his time as a Jedi. His starfighter lands in the facility's hangar. Clone troopers pour out behind him, led by the 501st Legion. They've chosen to remain loyal to Anakin even after learning about the chips. Many have already had the surgery to remove them. Remember, Anakin addresses his troops. "We capture the council alive if possible. They need to stand trial. But if they resist, don't hesitate." The clones nod. They trust Anakin. He's always fought beside them, never above them. They breach the facility's defenses methodically. Battle droids fall to precise blaster fire. Drydekas are destroyed by thermal detonators. The 501st moves like a well-oiled machine. Anakin leads the way to the council chamber, his lightsaber deflecting blaster bolts. When he kicks open the door, he finds the Separatist leaders cowering behind their furniture. Anakin Skywalker? Newt Gunray recognizes him. We surrender. Please. We surrender. Deactivate your armies. Anakin commands. All of them. Across the entire galaxy. Now. Wat Tambor scrambles to a console and inputs shutdown codes. Across the galaxy, billions of battle droids simply stop moving. Ships halt in mid-battle. Tanks go silent on battlefields. The Clone Wars, after 3 years of bloodshed, end not with a dramatic battle, but with a whimper. You're under arrest, Anakin says flatly. All of you. For crimes against the Republic, for war profiteering, for the deaths of millions. You'll stand trial on Coruscant. As clone troopers bind the council members in stun cuffs, Newt Gunray looks up at Anakin with desperation. Darth Sidious promised us power, he whimpers. Promised us control of the galaxy's commerce. He promised. He lied, Anakin interrupts. That's what the Sith do. They promise everything and deliver only death. You were fools to trust him. He turns to leave, then pauses. For what it's worth, I was almost a fool too. I know what it's like to be manipulated by Sidious. But unlike you, I chose to break free before it was too late. The Separatist Council is loaded onto a Republic transport. As Anakin watches them depart, he feels a profound sense of closure. The war is over. The Sith are defeated. Now comes the hard part, peace. Coruscant, the trials of the Separatist Council, become the most watched event in galactic history. Billions tune in to see the architects of the Clone Wars held accountable. Chancellor Bail Organa presides over a special tribunal, with representatives from worlds devastated by the war serving as judges. The Jedi are present as witnesses, but they do not sit in judgment. This is the Republic's justice, not the Order's. Each council member tries to deflect blame. They claim they were manipulated by Dooku and Sidious. They insist they were just businessmen trying to protect their interests. They argue that the Republic forced them into war with unfair taxation and regulation. Padme Amidala, serving as the chief prosecutor, dismantles their arguments systematically. You claim you were manipulated, she addresses Newt Gunray, but you blockaded Naboo 10 years before the Clone Wars began. You invaded a peaceful planet, killed innocent civilians, and attempted to force a queen to sign a treaty at gunpoint. Where was Sidious's manipulation then? Gunray has no answer. You claim you were defending business interests, she turns to the Commerce Guild representative. But your droid armies bombed hospitals and schools. You targeted civilians deliberately. You profited from suffering while the galaxy burned. One by one, she prosecutes them, not just for their crimes during the war, but for their long history of corruption, exploitation, and cruelty. The verdict is unanimous, guilty on all counts. The sentences vary. Some council members receive life imprisonment. Others are executed for particularly heinous war crimes. Newt Gunray, having committed acts of terrorism and mass murder going back a decade, is sentenced to death. As the verdicts are read, Anakin watches from the gallery. He feels no satisfaction. Only a grim recognition that justice, while necessary, cannot undo the damage already done. Beside him, Obi-Wan seems to sense his thoughts. The war is over, Anakin. The guilty are punished. Now we must focus on healing. How do you heal from this? Anakin gestures to the courtroom. Millions are dead. Entire planets are devastated. The Republic is bankrupt. How do we fix it? One day at a time, Obi-Wan says. One choice at a time. Just like you did in Palpatine's office. The clone rights movement. As the war ends, a new crisis emerges. What to do with the clone army? There are millions of clones across the galaxy. Bred for war, trained from birth to fight and die. Now that the fighting has stopped, they face an uncertain future. Some senators argue for decommissioning the clones entirely. They were created for war, Senator Orrin Freeta argues. Without a war, they have no purpose. Maintaining them is too expensive. Other senators, led by Bail Organa and Padme Amidala, push for clone citizenship and rights. These are living beings, Padme argues passionately in the Senate. They think, they feel, they make choices. Many clones died protecting us. They deserve our protection in return. The debate rages for months, but public opinion slowly shifts in favor of the clones. Too many people watched clones fight heroically during the war. Too many saw their sacrifices. A compromise is reached. The Clone Rights Act. Under this legislation, all clones are granted full citizenship. Those who wish to continue military service can remain in a reformed Republic Defense Force. Those who wish to retire receive pensions and assistance transitioning to civilian life. The control chips must be removed from all clones. With the procedure fully funded by the Republic, no new clones will be created for military purposes. It's not perfect, but it's a start. Captain Rex, promoted to commander for his service, becomes one of the first clones to testify before the Senate about clone experiences. He speaks eloquently about the brothers he lost, the injustice of being born to die, and the hope for a future where clones can choose their own paths. "We didn't ask to be created," Rex tells the Senate. "But we're here now. We have thoughts, feelings, dreams. Some of my brothers want to keep serving. Others want to settle down, start families, see the galaxy in peacetime. We're asking for the chance to live, not just survive." The applause that follows is genuine and sustained. Anakin, watching from the gallery with Padme, feels tears in his eyes. These are his brothers in arms. They deserve this dignity. The Jedi Order reforms with the war over and the Sith destroyed. The Jedi Order faces a moment of reckoning. Master Yoda calls a council meeting, but this time, it's not just the 12 council members. Every Jedi in the galaxy who can attend is invited to participate via hologram. Hundreds of Jedi fill the council chamber virtually. Knights, masters, Padawans, even former Jedi like Ahsoka Tano are asked to share their perspectives. "Failed, the old ways have," Yoda begins, his voice heavy with centuries of wisdom and recent regret. "Arrogant, we became, blind to the Sith Lord in our midst, manipulated into serving a war that corrupted all it touched. Change we must." Mace Windu stands. "The question before us is fundamental. What should the Jedi Order be? For 1,000 years, we've been peacekeepers, diplomats, servants of the Republic, but that role led us to become soldiers, to compromise our principles, to fail in our duty." Obi-Wan speaks next. "Perhaps the error was in serving the Republic's government rather than its ideals. We became too political, too entangled in affairs that blinded us to larger threats. But can we truly separate ourselves?" asks Ki-Adi-Mundi. "The Force exists in all living things. To ignore the galaxy's suffering is to ignore the Force itself." The debate continues for hours. Different Jedi offer different perspectives. Some argue for complete withdrawal from politics, a return to contemplation and study. Others insist the Jedi must remain engaged, but as advisors rather than soldiers. Still others suggest reforming the Order entirely, allowing Jedi to marry, to form attachments, to live more balanced lives. It's Ahsoka Tano who offers the most radical suggestion. "Masters, maybe the problem isn't politics or attachments or any single issue. Maybe the problem is thinking there's only one way to be a Jedi." The chamber falls silent. "I left the Order because I couldn't reconcile what I believed with what the Council demanded," Ahsoka continues. "But I never stopped serving the light. I never stopped using the Force for good. Maybe we need to accept that the Force is too vast, too complex, for one rigid code to encompass it all." Yoda's ears perk up. "Say more, young Tano. What if the Jedi Order became more flexible?" Ashoka suggests. "Some Jedi could remain celibate and detached, focusing on meditation and study. Others could marry and have families, like the Jedi of ancient times. Some could serve as diplomats, others as teachers, others as healers. One order, many paths, all serving the light but in different ways. It's a revolutionary idea." The council members exchange glances. "It would require restructuring everything," Mace Windu observes. "Our training, our hierarchy, our entire philosophy, perhaps that's exactly what we need," Obi-Wan says thoughtfully. "A restructuring so fundamental that we can never again fall into the same complacency." The debate continues, but Ahsoka's vision gains traction. Over the following months, the Jedi Order begins its most significant reformation in millennia. The key changes. The rule of attachment is modified. Jedi may form relationships and families, but must not let those bonds lead to possessiveness or fear of loss. Multiple paths are recognized. Jedi Guardians, Warriors, Jedi Counselors, Diplomats, Jedi Sentinels, Investigators, and new orders including Jedi Healers and Jedi Scholars. The Council is expanded. Instead of 12 members, the new Council has representatives from each Jedi path, plus former Jedi and Force-sensitive non-Jedi advisors. Political neutrality is established. The Jedi will advise the Republic but never serve in its military command structure again. Transparency increases. Jedi operations are more open to public scrutiny. The Order publishes regular reports on its activities. It's imperfect and controversial. Some traditional Jedi resign in protest, but many more embrace the changes, seeing them as necessary evolution. Anakin Skywalker is offered a seat on the new expanded council. This time, the offer comes with genuine respect and the rank of Master. He accepts. Padme's children as the galaxy restructures itself, Padme's pregnancy progresses. Under the new Jedi rules, Anakin doesn't have to hide his marriage anymore. He announces it publicly, shocking some but earning widespread support from citizens who saw the old Jedi rules as unnecessarily cruel. Medical droids monitor Padme constantly. Anakin's visions of her death have faded since he rejected the dark side, but he remains cautiously concerned. On a warm Coruscant evening, Padme goes into labor. Anakin is there, holding her hand, using the Force to soothe her pain without interfering with the natural process. Obi-Wan waits outside, ready to support his former apprentice however needed. The birth is difficult but not dangerous. Padme is strong, the medical care is excellent, and there's no dark side corruption influencing events. Twin babies are born, Luke and Leia Skywalker. When Anakin holds his children for the first time, he weeps, not from fear or anguish, but from pure joy. This is what he was meant to protect. This is what the dark side would have destroyed. Padme, exhausted but radiant, smiles at him. "You see, I didn't die." "No," Anakin agrees, voice thick with emotion. "You're very much alive. And we have a family." "We do," Padme touches Luke's tiny hand. "Our children will grow up in a galaxy at peace. They'll never know war the way we did." It's a hope, not a guarantee, but it's a hope worth fighting for. The next generation. 5 years pass. The Republic has reformed into something stronger and more democratic than before. Chancellor Bail Organa serves a single term, then peacefully transfers power to a successor, Mon Mothma. The precedent of limited executive authority is established. The clone troopers have integrated into society. Some remain in the military. Others become teachers, doctors, pilots, craftsmen. Captain Rex opens a Veterans Assistance Center on Coruscant, helping brothers adjust to civilian life. The Jedi Order thrives under its new structure. Temples are rebuilt, not just on Coruscant, but across the galaxy. Young Force sensitives are still identified and trained, but with more flexibility and compassion than before. Anakin and Padme raise Luke and Leia on Coruscant, but also spend time on Naboo. Both children show strong Force sensitivity. At age 5, they begin basic Jedi training, but they're also allowed to be children, to play, to form friendships. Obi-Wan, having stepped back from active combat, becomes a Jedi instructor. He trains a new generation in lightsaber combat and Force techniques, but also in wisdom and restraint. Ahsoka Tano returns to the Jedi Order, taking her place on the expanded council as a representative of unorthodox Force users. She advocates for those who serve the light in unconventional ways. Mace Windu remains on the council, but becomes less rigid in his views. Watching Anakin raise his children with love while remaining a dedicated Jedi changes his perspective on attachment. Yoda, ancient and wise, enters semi-retirement. He spends his days meditating, teaching younglings and reflecting on the lessons learned from nearly losing everything. The galaxy isn't perfect. There are still conflicts, still criminals, still injustice. But there's also hope, progress, a sense that the future can be better than the past. The Sith cultists 10 years after Palpatine's death, a new threat emerges. Not all Sith followers died with Sidious. Some went underground, nursing their hatred, planning revenge. They call themselves the Sith Eternal, a cult dedicated to resurrecting the Sith Order. They've been gathering artifacts, studying ancient dark side techniques, and recruiting Force-sensitive individuals dissatisfied with the Jedi's new ways. Their leader is a woman named Darth Oculus, a former Jedi who fell to the dark side during the Clone Wars and escaped detection. She's powerful, charismatic, and absolutely committed to destroying everything Anakin built. The cult strikes first at a Jedi temple on Dantooine. A team of dark side warriors, wielding red lightsabers and forbidden Force techniques, attacks during a training session. Several young Jedi are killed before the attackers retreat. The Jedi Council is convened in emergency session. Anakin, now a senior master and council member, listens grimly to the reports. This is more than random violence, Mace Windu analyzes. They targeted Jedi specifically, knew when and where to strike. This was planned. The Sith cultists we've heard rumors about, Obi-Wan realizes. They're not just rumors anymore. Confront them we must, Yoda says, before they grow stronger, before they corrupt more young Force users. Anakin volunteers to lead the response. He's uniquely qualified. He knows the dark side intimately, having resisted its ultimate temptation. He understands how Sith think and operate, but Padme is concerned when he tells her about the mission. Anakin, you're going after dark side users. Users who probably know you're the one who killed Palpatine. They'll target you specifically. I know, Anakin says calmly, but that's exactly why I need to go. I can't let fear of the dark side control my actions. I faced Sidious and won. I can face these cultists too. Take backup, Padme insists. Don't go alone. I won't. Ashoka is coming with me. And Obi-Wan. We'll handle this together. The hunt for Darth Oculus. The hunt for the Sith Eternal takes Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan across the galaxy. They follow a trail of dark side energy and cult activity, from the ruins of Malachor to the caves of Moraband. Along the way, they encounter cultists and fight several skirmishes. These dark side warriors are skilled but not on the level of true Sith Lords. Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan defeat them without too much difficulty. But the encounters reveal troubling information. The cult is larger than expected, with cells on dozens of worlds. They're recruiting aggressively, promising power to Force sensitives who feel limited by the Jedi's ethical constraints. They're using the same arguments Palpatine used on me, Anakin observes after interrogating a captured cultist, promising freedom from the Jedi's restrictions, power without limits, the ability to save those you love. Did you ever tell them what the dark side truly costs? Ashoka asks. I tried, but people hear what they want to hear, especially when they're afraid or angry. They finally track Darth Oculus to Korriban, the ancient Sith homeworld. She's established her base in a forgotten Sith temple, surrounded by dozens of cultists and dark side energy that permeates the very stone. The Jedi team approaches carefully. This is Sith territory, saturated with dark side corruption. Even Anakin feels its pull, whispers of power, promises of strength. Stay focused, Obi-Wan reminds them. The dark side will try to cloud our judgment. Remember what we're fighting for. They infiltrate the temple, fighting through waves of cultists. These are fanatics, willing to die for their cause. Many are former Jedi who fell during the Clone Wars, corrupted by the conflict's horrors. Finally, they reach the inner sanctum where Darth Oculus waits. She's younger than Anakin expected, maybe in her 30s. Her yellow Sith eyes burn with hatred and fanatical purpose. 2 red lightsabers hang from her belt. Anakin Skywalker, she greets him with a sneer. The chosen one who killed his own master. How does it feel, being a murderer and a hero? Palpatine wasn't my master, Anakin responds evenly. He was a manipulator and a tyrant. Killing him saved the galaxy. Saved it? Oculus laughs bitterly. You saved nothing. The Republic is weak. The Jedi are divided. The galaxy has no true direction, no true strength. Darth Sidious offered order and power. You replaced it with chaos. We replaced tyranny with freedom, Ahsoka interjects. There's a difference. Freedom is an illusion. Oculus ignites both her lightsabers. There is only the Force, and those strong enough to wield it should rule. That is the Sith way. The Sith way is extinction, Obi-Wan states calmly. Every Sith empire in history has collapsed. Every Sith Lord has been betrayed or destroyed. It's a philosophy built on self-destruction. Then I'll build it properly. Oculus launches herself at them. The duel is intense. Oculus is skilled with her double-bladed technique, spinning and striking from multiple angles. She uses the dark side aggressively. Force lightning, force choke, telekinetic attacks. But she's fighting 3 Jedi Masters, each with decades of experience. Anakin counters her aggression with Form V power attacks. Obi-Wan uses Soresu defense to neutralize her strikes. Ashoka employs her unorthodox dual wielding to find openings. Slowly, they wear her down. You can still turn back, Anakin offers during a brief pause. I know what the dark side promises. I know how seductive it is, but it's a lie. Power gained through hatred and fear only destroys you. You're weak, Oculus screams. You had the chance to be the most powerful Force user in history. Sidious offered you everything, and you threw it away for what? For democracy? For the Jedi who never respected you? For the people I love, Anakin says simply. For a future worth living in. For balance. Balance is a myth. She attacks again, even more recklessly. This time, Anakin is ready. He deflects her strikes, creates an opening, and with a precise force push sends her lightsabers flying. Ahsoka and Obi-Wan move in, surrounding her. Oculus, disarmed and defeated, still glares at them with defiance. Kill me. Prove you're no different from the Sith. No. Anakin deactivates his lightsaber. You'll stand trial, face justice, and maybe, in time, you'll realize the dark side offered you nothing but emptiness. As they take Oculus into custody, Anakin feels a profound sense of closure. He's faced the dark side again, not as a temptation, but as an enemy. And he's proven, to himself and others, that he's truly left that path behind. The trial of Darth Oculus. The trial of Darth Oculus becomes a galactic spectacle, similar to the Separatist Council trials years before. But this trial is different. It's not just about justice, but about understanding. Padmé, serving as one of the prosecutors, approaches the trial with compassion as well as legal rigor. She questions Oculus about her fall to the dark side, trying to understand what drives Force users to corruption. You were once a Jedi, Padmé states. What changed? Oculus, bound but defiant, glares at her. The war changed me. I watched Jedi die because of the Council's incompetence. I watched the Republic betray its principles. I realized the light side offered only weakness and death. So you chose the dark side? The same philosophy that started the war in the first place? I chose power over weakness, strength over passivity. And where did that strength lead you? Padmé gestures around the courtroom. You're in chains. Your cult is disbanded. Your followers are imprisoned or dead. What did the dark side actually give you? For the first time, Oculus hesitates. The question cuts through her fanatic certainty. The dark side gave me purpose, she finally says. The Jedi gave me restrictions and doubt. The Jedi gave you discipline and wisdom, Padmé corrects gently. But I understand the appeal of the dark side. My husband faced the same temptation. Darth Sidious promised him power to save me from death, and for a moment he almost accepted. The courtroom stirs. Anakin's resistance to the dark side is well known, but hearing it described so personally is powerful. But Anakin chose differently, Padmé continues. He realized that power gained through the dark side would cost him everything worth having. His integrity, his relationships, his very soul. He chose to save Mace Windu instead of Palpatine, and that choice saved the galaxy. Oculus looks at Anakin, sitting in the gallery. You don't understand what you gave up, the power Sidious offered. I understand perfectly, Anakin interrupts, rising to his feet. Sidious offered me the power to prevent death, to control life itself, and all it would cost was becoming a monster. Murdering younglings, betraying everyone I loved, enslaving myself to the Sith. He walks closer to the defendant's stand. I felt the dark side's pull, Anakin continues. I've tasted its power, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, it's a trap. It promises everything and delivers only corruption. You think you're strong? You're a slave. A slave to hatred, fear, and the endless hunger for more power. You're the slave, Oculus spits. A slave to Jedi dogma and weakness. No, Anakin says calmly. I'm free. Free from the dark side's corruption. Free from Sidious's manipulation. Free to love my wife and children without fear. That's the freedom you sacrificed for an illusion of power. The words hang in the air. Oculus has no response. The verdict is guilty, as expected. But instead of execution, the sentence is rehabilitation. Oculus will be held in a facility designed to help dark-side users recover, to confront the emptiness at the heart of their philosophy. It's a controversial decision. Many argue she should be executed for her crimes. But Anakin advocates for mercy, remembering how close he came to the same fate. Every life has value, he tells the press after the trial, even those who fall to darkness. If there's a chance for redemption, we should take it. Luke and Leia's training 15 years after the Clone Wars end. Luke and Leia Skywalker are teenagers and formidable Force users in their own right. Luke trains under Obi-Wan Kenobi, Learning the elegant Soresu defensive techniques alongside the aggressive Gemso form his father favors. He's naturally talented, combining Anakin's raw power with Padme's strategic thinking. Leia studies under Ahsoka Tano, learning her master's unorthodox dual-wielding style and adaptive combat philosophy. But Leia is also politically active, accompanying Padme to Senate sessions and learning diplomacy alongside Force training. Both children know they're the Chosen One's offspring. Both feel the weight of that legacy. One evening, Luke approaches Anakin in the temple training room. His father is practicing Form 5 katas, moving through the acrobatic sequences with fluid grace despite his age. "Dad," Luke interrupts. "Can I ask you something?" Anakin stops, deactivating his lightsaber. "Of course. Do you ever feel the dark side still? Like calling to you?" It's a serious question. Anakin considers it carefully. Every day, he admits, the dark side doesn't just disappear because you reject it once. It's always there, offering easy solutions, promising power. But I've learned to recognize those whispers for what they are: lies. How do you resist it? By remembering what matters. Your mother, you and Leia. The people who died because of my mistakes. Every time the dark side whispers, I think about what I'd lose if I listened. Luke absorbs this. Master Kenobi says I have your power, that I could be one of the strongest Jedi ever. But I'm afraid I'll fall like you almost did. Anakin pulls his son into an embrace. You won't. You know what the dark side costs because I almost paid that price. You've seen the consequences. And you have something I didn't. A family that loves you openly, without shame or secrecy. The old Jedi forbade attachments, Luke observes. Do you think they were wrong? I think they were afraid, Anakin says. Afraid that love would lead to possessiveness and fear of loss. And they were right to be concerned. That's exactly what Sidious exploited in me. But the solution isn't to avoid love. It's to love without attachment, to care deeply while accepting that nothing is permanent. That sounds really hard. It is, Anakin agrees. It's the hardest thing I've ever learned, but it's also the most important. Power without love becomes tyranny. Love without wisdom becomes obsession. You need both. Leia's path, while Luke focuses on becoming a Jedi Guardian. Leia walks a different path. She's equally powerful in the Force, but her interests lie in politics and diplomacy. Padme mentors her daughter personally, teaching her the intricacies of Senate procedure, negotiation tactics, and political strategy. Leia proves to be a natural, charismatic, intelligent, and persuasive. At age 16, Leia gives her first formal speech to the Senate. She advocates for increased aid to worlds still recovering from the Clone Wars, arguing that the Republic has a moral obligation to help those who suffered. My father fought in the Clone Wars, she tells the assembled senators. He's told me about planets devastated by the conflict, populations displaced, infrastructure destroyed, and 15 years later, many of these worlds still struggle. Discussion was pauses, letting her words sink in. We have the resources to help. The question is, do we have the will? Or will we allow political expedience to override moral obligation? The speech is effective. Funding packages are increased. Leia's reputation as a rising political star is established, but she also continues her Jedi training. Ahsoka teaches her that Force sensitivity and political involvement aren't mutually exclusive. They can complement each other. The Force gives you empathy, Ahsoka explains during a training session. You can sense what people truly feel, what motivates them. That's invaluable in politics. But you must never use it to manipulate or control. That's the line between a Jedi diplomat and a Sith manipulator. Leia takes this lesson to heart. She uses the Force to understand people's genuine needs and concerns, but she persuades through logic and compassion, not through Force influence. The assassination attempt. Not everyone approves of the Reformed Republic and the new Jedi Order. Remnants of Palpatine's loyalists, corporate interests who profited from the war, and authoritarian sympathizers all nurse grievances. 20 years after Palpatine's death, they make their move. A coordinated assassination attempt targets the Republic's leadership. Chancellor Mon Mothma is attacked during a diplomatic function. Padme is targeted at her Coruscant apartment. Bail Organa faces a bombing attempt on Alderaan. The Jedi respond immediately. Anakin rushes to protect Padme, arriving just as the assassins breach their apartment. There are 5 of them, professional killers, armed with blasters and vibroblades. Anakin's lightsaber becomes a blur of blue light. He deflects blaster bolts, disarms opponents, uses the Force to throw attackers into walls. His combat skills, honed over decades, are overwhelming. But one assassin gets close to Padme. She's not defenseless. Years of living with a Jedi husband has taught her basic self-defense. She dodges the vibroblade strike and shoots the assassin with a holdout blaster. Anakin finishes off the remaining attackers and pulls Padme into his arms. "Are you hurt?" "I'm fine," she assures him, though she's shaking slightly. They weren't expecting me to fight back. Meanwhile, Luke and Leia respond to the attack on Chancellor Mon Mothma. The twins work in perfect coordination, their Force bond allowing them to anticipate each other's movements. Luke handles the combat while Leia protects the Chancellor and evacuates civilians. The assassination attempts all fail. The conspirators are captured and interrogated. They reveal a plot funded by wealthy industrialists who want to restore authoritarian rule. They believe democracy makes the Republic weak. The trials that follow send a clear message. The Republic will not return to tyranny. Those who attempt to overthrow democracy through violence will face severe consequences. But the attempt also serves as a wake-up call. 20 years of peace has made some people complacent. Vigilance is necessary to protect freedom. The founding of new orders as the Republic stabilizes and Luke and Leia come of age. Anakin proposes a significant expansion of the Jedi's mission. "For too long, we've focused primarily on Force training and political advice," he tells the Jedi Council. "But there are other ways to serve the galaxy. Other skills Force sensitives can develop." He proposes creating specialized Jedi divisions. The Jedi Medical Corps, Force healers who travel to underserved worlds, providing medical care enhanced by Force abilities. Healing trances, disease detection, accelerated recovery, all techniques that can save countless lives. The Jedi Agricultural Corps, Force users who help struggling agricultural worlds, using the Force to sense soil health, encourage plant growth, and predict weather patterns, turning the Force towards sustaining life rather than combat. The Jedi Exploration Corps, Jedi who venture into unknown regions, using Force precognition and sensing to safely navigate dangerous space. Discovering new worlds and resources for the Republic. The Jedi Counseling Corps, Force empaths who provide psychological support to trauma victims, war veterans, and others suffering emotional pain, using the Force to heal minds as well as bodies. The proposal is ambitious and controversial. Some traditional Jedi argue it dilutes the Order's focus, but Yoda supports it enthusiastically. "Too long, focused on combat we have been," the Ancient Master says. "A Jedi's strength flows from the Force. But the Force is life, growth, connection, not just battle. Embrace this, we should." The new divisions are established. Many young Jedi who never wanted to be warriors but felt obligated by the old Order's focus on combat find their true calling in these service roles. Within 5 years, Jedi healers are saving lives across the Outer Rim. Jedi agriculturists are helping struggling farming worlds become self-sufficient. Jedi explorers are mapping new hyperspace routes and discovering habitable planets for colonization. The Jedi Order evolves from primarily a police force into a multifaceted service organization. It doesn't abandon security duties. Jedi Guardians still protect the innocent and confront threats. But the Order becomes more diverse, more representative of the Force's full potential. 40 years later, Anakin Skywalker is 70 times 9 years old. His hair is gray, his face lined with age, but his presence in the Force remains powerful. He's lived to see his grandchildren, Ben, Jaina, Jason, and Anakin Solo, begin their own Jedi training. The galaxy he helped save has thrived. The Republic is democratic and stable, with term limits for chancellors and strong checks on executive power. The Jedi Order serves the galaxy in dozens of ways, from combat to healing to counseling. The clone troopers, now elderly themselves, have become a respected part of galactic society. Many served in government or military roles. Others became teachers, sharing their experiences with new generations. The Clone Rights Act has been expanded several times, ensuring full equality and support. Trade flourishes, technology advances. The devastation of the Clone Wars has been largely repaired, but Anakin knows his time is limited. The Force tells him, gently but clearly, that his journey is nearing its end. He stands in the Jedi Temple meditation garden, looking out over Coruscant's cityscape. Padme joins him, still beautiful despite her own years. They've grown old together, a gift he almost threw away. "I've been thinking about Palpatine lately," Anakin says quietly. About what would have happened if I'd made the other choice. Padme takes his hand. But you didn't. You chose the light. I almost didn't. In that moment, I wanted the power he promised so badly. The ability to save you, to control fate itself. It took everything I had to strike him down instead. But you did. And that choice saved the galaxy. Anakin looks at her. Do you ever regret it? Marrying a Jedi? The danger, the secrets we had to keep in the beginning, the uncertainty? Never, Padme says firmly. You're the best choice I ever made. Even when things were difficult, even when we faced impossible challenges, I never regretted choosing you. They stand in comfortable silence for a while. Then Luke and Leia arrive, their own children in tow. Grandfather, young Ben runs up to Anakin. Will you tell us about the Clone Wars again? Anakin smiles and sits on a meditation bench, gathering his grandchildren around him. Luke and Leia stand nearby, watching with affection. Which part do you want to hear? Anakin asks. The Battle of Christophas, Jaina says excitedly. No, the time you fought Count Dooku, Jason argues. Little Anakin, named after his grandfather, has a different request. Tell us about when you saved the galaxy. The other children quiet down, interested. Anakin considers his words carefully. I didn't save the galaxy alone. The Jedi did that together. But I suppose you're asking about when I killed Darth Sidious. The children nod eagerly. It was the hardest choice I ever made, Anakin begins. Sidious promised me power to save someone I loved, and I was terrified of losing her. Fear is powerful. It makes you do things you wouldn't normally consider. But you were brave, Ben insists. No, Anakin corrects gently. I was afraid. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing what's right even when you're terrified. I was afraid of losing your grandmother, afraid of being powerless, afraid of the future. But I realized that giving in to that fear would cost me everything worth having. So you chose love over power? Jaina asks. I chose love and power, Anakin says. The Sith teach that they're opposites, that you must choose one or the other. True power comes from love, from connection, from serving something greater than yourself. The dark side offers power built on hatred and fear. That power is hollow. It destroys everything it touches. The children absorb this wisdom. Little Anakin asks, Are we going to be as powerful as you, grandfather? Anakin smiles. You're going to be more powerful, because you'll grow up in a galaxy at peace. You won't be shaped by war and conflict like my generation was. You'll be able to develop your abilities for building and healing, rather than fighting and destroying. But what if war comes again? Jason asks seriously. Then you'll be ready, Anakin assures him. Because we've taught you well, you know the difference between necessary force and cruelty, between defending others and seeking power. You know what the Sith offer and what it costs. And you know that the strength of the Jedi comes from unity, compassion, and service to life. The final meditation that night, Anakin meditates in the temple's highest chamber. He opens himself completely to the Force, feeling its currents flow through him. He senses Qui-Gon Jinn's presence, the Jedi Master who discovered him on Tatooine, who believed in the prophecy. Qui-Gon learned to maintain his consciousness after death through the Force, and he's been watching, guiding from beyond. Master Qui-Gon, Anakin addresses the presence. Did I fulfill the prophecy? Did I bring balance? Qui-Gon's voice resonates in the Force, warm and proud. You did, Anakin. Not in a way anyone expected, but you did. You destroyed the Sith when it mattered most. You resisted corruption when the temptation was greatest, and you've helped build a Jedi Order that's wiser, more compassionate, more balanced than the one I knew. I made so many mistakes along the way. All people do. But you learned from them. You grew. You became not just powerful, but wise. That's what the Chosen One needed to be, not just strong enough to destroy the Sith, but wise enough not to replace them. Anakin feels a profound peace settle over him. He's lived a full life. He's loved and been loved. He's seen his children and grandchildren thrive. He's helped build a better galaxy. What happens now? He asks. Now, Qui-Gon's voice is gentle. You rest, and when your time comes to join the Force completely, you'll continue guiding those you love. Your story isn't ending, Anakin. It's transforming. 5 years later, Anakin Skywalker passes away peacefully in his sleep, surrounded by family. His funeral is attended by thousands. Jedi, senators, clone veterans, citizens from across the galaxy who benefited from his choice to reject the dark side. A monument is erected in the Jedi Temple's Hall of Heroes. It depicts three figures: Anakin Skywalker standing between Mace Windu and Yoda, his lightsaber raised against a shadowy representation of Palpatine. The inscription reads, "Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one who brought balance to the Force, not through destruction alone, but through choosing light in the moment of greatest darkness. May his legacy remind us that every choice matters, and that redemption is always possible for those with courage to seek it." Luke and Leia stand before the monument with their children. Behind them, the reformed Jedi Order continues its work, healing, teaching, protecting, serving. The galaxy Anakin helped save continues to thrive, built on the foundation of one critical choice made in Palpatine's office 40 years before. "Do you think he knew?" Leia asks Luke quietly. "When he killed Palpatine, do you think he understood how much that single moment would change?" Luke considers. "I think he knew he was choosing between darkness and light, between fear and courage. Whether he understood the full implications, probably not, but that's what makes it profound. He made the right choice not because he could predict the future, but because it was right." Young Ben, now a Jedi Knight himself, approaches the monument with his own student, a Force-sensitive child he's training in the new tradition. "Master Skywalker saved the galaxy by making a hard choice," Ben tells his student. "He could have taken the easy path, could have accepted Palpatine's promises of power, but he chose the harder path because it was the right one. That's what being a Jedi means. Not having power, but choosing how to use it wisely." The student asks, "What if we're faced with a similar choice someday?" "Then you'll remember your great-grandfather's example," Ben says. "Remember that fear leads to the dark side, that power without compassion becomes tyranny, and that the most important victories are the ones we win over ourselves." The student nods, absorbing the lesson. As the sun sets over Coruscant, the Jedi Temple glows with warm light. Inside, hundreds of Jedi of all ages continue their studies, their training, their service to the galaxy. The Sith are extinct, truly extinct this time, destroyed before they could implement their final plans. The Republic is strong and democratic, guided by leaders who value liberty over authority. And the Jedi Order has become what it was always meant to be, not warriors alone, but servants of life in all its forms. All because one man, in one critical moment, chose light over darkness, chose courage over fear, chose to save Mace Windu instead of Palpatine. That choice echoes through the decades, a reminder that every decision matters, every moment of courage counts, and every person has the power to change the galaxy, if they're brave enough to make the right choice when it matters most. The end.